Hello everyone, I'm CoolGuy, welcome back. Today I want to explore Divinity in PvP, and as always, I know what the general consensus is, and I know what you're thinking, but I try to look at things a little bit different, open up possibilities, and play to what something does well. I kind of forget about what the opinion is, and I form my own. So I want to make a bold statement today, and I do plan to back it up. Divinity is a great PvP weapon, but not how you think. With Divinity, I was trying to see if it was a meme type weapon, or if it was viable. What I did find out is that it's a real blast to use, it has a lot of utility, it can be very, very good. So I want to talk about some of those things today and let you judge if it's going to be something you want to use in your next gaming session. There are some things about it that you need to remember as seasons go on. There are some past and current bounties and quests that really benefit from Divinity, and that's really the important thing to remember when the situation comes up in the future. First off, it's a trace rifle. So in the Crucible, these are very, very good. Easy to use, just spray and keep the beam on the target. Cold Heart, Wave Splitter, the Lens are better pure dueling weapons than Divinity. Divinity does have a couple things about it compared to other trace rifles. It does have a slower 1.13 TTK compared to, let's say, Wave Splitter, Cold Heart, and Lens. That's alright, we can work with that if need be, especially since we don't really need to aim. But that's not really how we want to use it, as exotic perk Judgment, sustained damage with this weapon, envelopes the target in a field that weakens and disrupts them. It pairs with Penance. Targets under the effect of Judgment long enough are going to get struck with a burst of damage, and that rarely comes into effect in PvP unless you're shooting it at a super. The main, most important thing about Divinity in PvP is the envelope. And as I get into this isn't really a weapon that a full fire team should use. Maybe one or two players can use it, or just you as a solo player. As a straight dueling weapon, remember the TTK is slow, and again, if need be, you can do that if you need to, but as you start landing the beam, like 5 or 6 shots, you start to envelope them. When you envelope them, you debuff them, and the damage is treated as a critical shot plus more. That's really how you want to use Divinity in the Crucible. When you equip it and decide to use it, you're going to be using it as a primer. As you're running around with it, your main goal, and all you're really doing, is trying to get an envelope on your enemy. Nothing more, nothing less. When you do that, 3 critical things are going on. Number 1, in a team setting, you're debuffing them. Of course, you're trying to land the final blow, but if you're taking your Divinity shots and you're debuffing them, very, very easy cleanups for your teammates. And it happens all the time. I've had games with over 40 opponents defeated, and I have 19, 20 assists. Because when you do envelope the enemy, they're done. It's a very, very good team weapon. Number 2, since you're using it as a primer, you want to pair it with a quick draw weapon, or something like Dragon Shadow, or something like Lucky Pants. I've found the most success pairing Divinity with a high impact hand cannon like Duke, because you're landing just enough with Divinity to envelope them, and the buff damage you get is already really high with Duke at 91. It gets up to about 118, 119 damage. But the envelope is key, because when you envelope them, you do a fast swap to your other weapon and you hit the blue bubble, the envelope, and you hit that bubble anywhere. And a lot of times it's nowhere near the actual enemy model. The size of it is massive, so when enemies are around corners, the envelope sticks out. When they're head glitched, it sticks out. When they're getting away, it sticks out. That's my favorite thing about it. Now, trace rifles aren't the best for ammo, and Divinity isn't the best for a straight up duel, but when you conserve the ammo, getting just enough damage to envelope them, and use it as a true primer, it excels. I've had a lot of great games with it, and I've also had a lot of messages saying that I'm a cheater shooting through walls, but the truth is, the bubble is sticking out. I think that's cool, that's amazing. Now the third thing is also important. With whatever hits the envelope, it counts as a final blow, and as you see on the screen, it counts as a headshot. That doesn't seem like a big deal, but think about all the things in Destiny that state land final blows in the Crucible, land headshot final blows with a hand cannon, pulse final blows in the Crucible, going for headshots. So that's a little extra thing to keep in mind in the future. Trace rifles in general shred supers, and they don't care about blocking, let's say from a mid-tree arc strider. The thing about Divinity though, is that no matter what, you're hitting them and creating the envelope, so anyone shooting at them is getting really, really good damage on them. It's perfect against supers. And another thing I really like about it is its utility in CQC, close quarters combat, because when players are rushing you, you're still doing the same thing, try to get the blue bubble on them and then swap to your other weapon. And you can judge it as they're coming in because you're backing up. You can do the quick swap and then just hip fire the hand cannon or hip fire the auto rifle, because all it has to do is hit anywhere on that envelope. But what you're always doing is getting enough damage with Divinity to start that envelope. And sometimes in CQC, they're just super close and you can melee them. Again, you can judge it. Your melee is going to be buffed and it's going to down them. I've tried it with a quick draw AR, pulse, things like that. The high impact hand cannon has the damage though. Again, it starts at a high base of 91 and Divinity takes it over the top. All of it collectively, it has a lot of utility, I think at least. And with the combo, strictly doing enough damage to get the bubble going, using it as a primer, you don't really need to be precise at all. You just need to land anywhere on your target with Divinity and then anywhere around the bubble with your other weapon. No real accuracy. All in all, it's really fun. It puts in work, but after using it, as you've been seeing in the gameplay, you have to use it a certain way. But when you do that, it kind of complements everything that you're working with. Preserving the ammo, using the exotic perk, very good team weapon, very good 1v1 quick swap dual weapon. And if you just use it as a plain trace rifle, it's not that good. It'll be okay. It's there if you need it to be, but others do that way better. But others don't do what Divinity does. It's all about that envelope. So if you're new to the channel, remember to hit the subscribe button. If you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. What do you think about Divinity in PvP? Have you tried using it like this? Let's talk about it. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.